Okay, folks, this is Box Drop Mattress and Furniture. Now, this is a wholesale operation, brand new stuff, but we're here with Janie and Murlyn, which is probably one of the coolest names, Murlyn, for Plainview, Texas. Plainview, Texas, they say is the home of Jimmy Dean Sausage, right?
Yes, it is.
It's where they filmed Steve Martin's
Leap of Faith.
Leap of Faith.
Mm-hmm.
So they've still got that coffee shop downtown. What's that coffee shop called again?
It's called The Brew.
The Brew. So that's some scenes in that movie were filmed there. Well, guys, this is the middle of nowhere, Texas, but it's Plainview. So, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in Plainview. You've got data centers going in all around the area, and it's the age of AI. A recent report from I believe it was the Texas Tribune, I'll check that out and put the link in the description, talked about the forecast of having 500 data centers in Texas, which is wild.
Yep.
I asked a question, kind of a focus group, networking group earlier, how many data centers are coming to Texas? I heard numbers like 10, 100, 8, and I go, no, 500. Like,
oh wow,
500 in the state of Texas. That's
amazing.
What the Texas Tribune said. Well, that's the world we live in, but there's another part of life that's essential to living, which is sleeping.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
And then family time and comfort at home, because everybody goes to work and they come home. That's typically people's sanctuary where they get away from it all and recharge for the next day and go out and do what they need to do. So you guys decided over 6 years ago to get into this type of business.
Mm-hmm.
And why? What was the motivation?
2 reasons.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you started it, so you finish it.
Well, our son was working for a major retail store here that was going to go ahead and close, and they moved their business to a different town. Mm-hmm. And so he was going to be without work.
Yeah.
And this was presented to us
by a family member.
Because they've done very well. They live in another part of Texas, but they've done very well. And just thought it would be something that we could work into where, when we decided to retire from our regular jobs, we could just do this full time and, spend out our retirement years just helping people,
Instead of just sitting around doing nothing, we wanted to stay busy.
We wanted to stay busy.
And in the meantime, we can establish it and try to get it up, running and, make people aware of who we are and what we do.
And we knew that Plainview was going to need, and well, in the surrounding areas too, they were going to need a place to be able to come buy brand new mattresses and brand new furniture without having to pay phenomenal prices for it.
Yeah.
We really liked that part of it. So.
And you mentioned something in that statement about helping people.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like?
Well, we're not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. And that's what we believe. That's what we're taught, and so we're followers of Christ, and so we want to be able to help people, and so if we can save people a little bit of money and share with them a little bit about who we are and what God's done in our life, then we feel like that we've followed what God has called us to do here on earth. We don't believe it's just to get up every morning and go to work and just try to scratch out a living, and we feel like that there's a greater purpose in why we're here, and we feel like it's to we're supposed to live in community and reach out to people and love people like Jesus does. In fact, the slogan at church where we attend is love Jesus, love people. And so
we're living that out.
So this is a way to do that by helping people have a better night's sleep, some better quality stuff in their house to bring that sense of rest and to their home.
Yeah.
So it's a higher mission that the business
Yep.
operates on. When people buy from you guys, what do you see is the biggest advantage to them when they take something from you home?
They've saved quite a bit of money, because we're anywhere from 50 to 70%, up to 70% below retail prices. So, instead of having to go and try to figure out how to pay for a $10,000 bed, you get it in here for way less, way less.
$10,000 bed, is that?
Oh yeah,
for real?
That is for real.
Okay.
We've had a lot of people come in and say, I just, my last bed cost us 10 grand.
My goodness.
And so when they come in and they see, now we don't put the prices on the mattresses. We do the furniture, but we don't put the prices on the mattresses because we want to have a conversation with people. I don't want you to come in and say, okay, I'll take that mattress without ever trying it to see how it feels, and then walk out of here and 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years later, you hate me because the mattress that I sold you wasn't what you needed. I want to make sure you get what you need while you're here.
We jokingly but realistically tell people, if you don't lay on it, we won't sell it to you.
We won't sell it to you.
Because we want people to be satisfied, with the comfort, with the quality, and especially with the price, because we want to save people money, and feel like that they've gotten something good quality that's going to last them. Because we get tons of people in here that they're sleeping on a hand-me-down mattress, or it's something that's been in their family. It's
20,
crazy.
30, 40 years.
It's crazy some of the stories that we've heard, from people.
30, 40 years on the same mattress. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we actually had a customer in that they were still sleeping on a bed like a feather mattress. With the exposed spring support. Not a box spring like the old spring.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's what they were still sleeping on.
Oh my goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Wow. So that sounds like helping people to me. I mean, obviously, for sure.
Oh yeah.
A real practical thing to help someone maybe stabilize their sleep. If they got a back condition or.
Well, here's the long and short of it. If you're not sleeping well, then you're not healthy. You're not at your.
That's actually true.
Your top level of health, because if you're tossing and turning and you're waking up and you're hurting, and you go to bed and you're hurting and you get up and you're hurting, you're not resting well. And so you're not getting quality sleep. So your body's not regenerating like it should. And so that's that's the main reason that we try to help people.
Oh, wow.
So,
not sleeping is not fun. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
That when you have a good night's sleep, I know what it's like. I do college work, and at night it seems to be the time when you study, and it seems to go into the wee hours a lot. And I can testify to that not sleeping is not good for performance during the day.
It's
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And then everything else suffers because of that, like relationship time and all of that other stuff. You got to be taking care of yourself. You mentioned something about followers of Christ, and so that's a really important topic inside of a business. You think about one of my favorite passages in the Bible is Matthew 25, where Jesus talks about the talents. They call it the parable of the talents, it's known as. And he specifically illustrated the importance of multiplying what God gives you.
Yes.
And a talent back in those days was money. Right? So taking the money that God gave you and multiplying it. Well, business is money.
Yes.
And so how do you be a good steward of that? And how can you be successful in business and still be a follower of Christ? That's a great question, right?
That is a great question.
So when I think of Matthew 25, that makes sense to me. Like, he's asking you to be successful with money. Yeah. Multiply it. And so, but that follower of Christ thing also relates to something called a marriage,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you guys have been married how long?
42 years.
I'm sorry, what?
42 years.
In 2026, is that reality? Okay. Tell us about the importance of a good night's sleep and a good marriage.
Well, it keeps us from being cranky.
Okay. That's awesome.
And if we're not cranky, then we're not. No, seriously, it has a lot to do with it, because the way you feel and the way, like, I'll just use myself for an example. If I don't feel good, then I'm liable to be short and snippy.
That's true.
And he hasn't done anything, but he's wondering in the back of his mind, okay, what did I do? Why are you, why are we having to be like this, And it does. It makes a big difference. It affects your communication. It affects the way you think. It affects the way you feel. It goes a long way to have a good night's sleep.
Yep.
It really does.
Yeah.
And, it makes it easier for us to, just be able to talk to each other, you know.
And that's kind of where I'm going to put a little bit different twist on it, in that, things have not always been, peaches and cream, for lack of a better analogy, in our marriage. I mean, there was a time where we were just about to fall apart. And, God saw fit to restore our relationship, and one of our main issue was that we were trying to change each other, instead of allowing each other to be who God created us to be. And so our communication was horrible. Like there was just nearly no communication, or lack. It just was bad whenever things were tense. But by allowing God to get a hold of us, and I can make a sermon out of this, but we were in church all the time. And you can be in church every time the doors are open and not be who God called you to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still try to change everyone around you, probably because you're not happy with yourself.
Yeah.
And so by bringing Christ in the center of everything, including our business, it allows us the opportunity to communicate better and work together better. Now, does that mean that we don't have struggles? No. We had one the other day. Something just didn't go right in a couple of transactions, and we had to work through it. But that's the thing about it, is we worked through it and we continue to work together, and that doesn't, there might be something that comes up tonight or tomorrow, that ruffles our feathers. But one of the things that God has taught us through this is that we're not wrong, we're just different. And we can be different and accept each other's differences. And that applies not just in a marriage relationship, but in our relationship with anybody that we come in contact with. And so if we can apply that in every relationship, whether it's somebody walking in the door, or somebody walking down the street, or somebody that cuts us off in traffic, then we can try to learn how to treat them more like Jesus would treat them.
That's good.
And on top of that too, we've been together for quite a long time, because we dated for 4 years.
Wow.
Went to school
together, and then we dated for 4 years after we graduated from high school.
It took us a little while to make sure
before we ever got married. So 42 years later, we still like hanging out together. We still like doing things together. There's not a whole lot of husband and wife teams that can do what we do.
That's true.
And so that's been a blessing as far as getting to do this for us. And we just want other people to experience the same thing.
That's amazing. Now, there's another part of a marriage, that's that we won't go too in detail on, but that intimate part, right?
Yes.
how important is a good quality bed for that?
Well, when the intimacy comes in, you don't want to be sleeping on a saggy bed.
I don't want to fall in a hole. So when you climb into bed and you both roll into the middle, it's time for, because not a whole lot's going to happen,
right.
Because you can't get out of that hole.
Right. So good quality mattresses, folks. Now you mentioned someone cutting you off in traffic. I wonder if they had a good night's sleep. If that would have helped.
It might have.
Could be.
I will say that having a little break from college work and having like that's my outcome by the end of the day is to have a good night's sleep. It's like, wow, it's a total game changer.
Yeah.
You need it, because I promise you, I've been there, and you can't focus.
No.
And
you can.
Yeah, but no.
But you end up really. There's a concept called the law of diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You think increasing productivity just for the sake of productivity. No, it means a whole lot of different things, but kind of the concept is transferable to that idea of like, hey, I'm gonna do all these things all at once and get more done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't actually do a quality job on all those things, But if you have the ability, I believe this quote is attributed to Einstein. And I believe this is accurate. I'll look it up. But he said that genius is the ability to focus on the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a good night's sleep, your focus level can be razor sharp.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. That goes for your kids.
Absolutely.
Your kids need to sleep well too. So, there's a lot of times that parents will come in and they're looking for a new mattress for their kiddos. Well, their kiddos might be 2 or 3 years old. Just we're going from the crib to just a bigger bed. Anyway, and so there's a lot of times, because they'll tell us, well, our mattress is 15 years old. You're supposed to change your mattress every 5 to 7 years, just so that you can continue to sleep well. Anyway, and so they'll tell us, okay, well, we're gonna buy this one a mattress, and but they don't want to spend a whole lot, and so there have been some times that we've actually said, okay, why don't we do this a little different? Why don't you guys get a mattress? Because they're telling us they're tired and exhausted and their kids are sleeping with them and, the whole 9 yards. Why don't you guys get the new mattress and hand the one down to your little for now? And then when your little gets a little bit bigger, you can come in and spend a little bit more money and get them a good mattress, because kids can sleep anywhere.
Yeah.
I've got a grandson that can fall asleep in a chair,
Yeah.
And so their kids are a little bit more resilient. So mom and dad, if you're the ones that are exhausted, then by all means, it's kind of like being on an airplane. You put the mask on first and then take care of, whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
that reminds me of the scripture, love your neighbor as yourself. The way that's worded, if you think it's kind of implying that you know how to love yourself, right? Self-respect, self-care, self-management, self-stewardship. Then you have the ability to steward others that need help. But not without maintaining the resource of you. And sleeping well is maintaining the resource of you.
Oh, yeah.
As well as, not spending an arm and a leg doing it.
Right.
So that's really important as well.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are buddies and you like to do stuff together. And you have a habit of visiting NASCAR races.
We do.
Absolutely.
So what do you like most about doing that?
All of it.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole experience. I don't know how to. We both like race cars. We both like racing. We like the smells. We like the sounds.
The adrenaline.
This last when we went to the Texas Motor Speedway this past May, the first weekend in May, we actually got to meet a couple of the drivers that we root for and got their autographs. So just different things like that. We just love the experience. Now
the smells, the sounds, the rednecks.
There you go.
You see all kinds of people.
The sounds, the rednecks. That's
well, I don't know that that's on the top billing.
The rednecks.
Well, I will say this. watching NASCAR on TV and watching it live are two totally different experiences. And the very first time, I promise, the very first time you ever go to a NASCAR race and you hear all 40 of those cars come running around that track at full speed, and it just rumbles everything. Yeah. You don't ever forget that experience.
Wow.
Ever.
Yeah. I've never been to a NASCAR race, but maybe it's time.
You can go with us.
You know, there's I'd be glad to. There is a difference, I know, in watching a musical performance on the TV versus being in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. You can't feel all of the vibrations of the sound.
No.
And you sure can't feel it if you ain't sleeping well, because you ain't thinking about it.
You're sleeping.
Yeah. You know.
Well, here's my take. I'll just tell you this. If you go to the movie theater and you fall asleep, it's time for a new mattress.
You know, that is a good point. That is actually a good point. I never thought about that. It's like, what'd you like about the movie? I don't know.
I went to sleep.
Man, it sounded nice. It felt good, and that's all I remember. You know, it's cold in there. You know, so yeah, that's a good indicator. We probably maybe take a look at maybe getting a different mattress. You know. We could go on and on and on. That's about, you know, NASCAR, about, you know, great mattresses, marriage, Christ following. You know, there's a lot that you guys bring to the table. What does it mean to your customer base and your potential customer base, the fact that you grew up in Plainview, you know Plainview like the back of your hand, and then you're a bit of Plainview raised, know it, business owner? What do you think that means to your prospects that haven't bought from you yet?
Well, it's hard to say. You would hope that it would mean that, hey, you know, these guys are here, they're established, they're a part of our community. It's not like they came in from, you know, another part of the country, you know, just to try to make a buck, you know, off of my business. You know, we want people to recognize that, you know, I mean, I've been here, you know, I'm 63 years old, and my dad moved us here when I was in 4th grade, you know, and I've been here all this time. You know, all the rest of my family has moved off, but, you know, despite the dust storms and the unpredictable weather, you know, we like being here. We like the community. You know, we love the people, and we want people to recognize that we're not just another face, another business that is here, you know, just to get you in the door, to make a buck off of you and send you out. If we're not building relationships, you know, then with people, you know, long term, it's not worth it. And I'll just tell you, and it's hard for me not to. I'm an emotional man. When something touches me, I get emotional. And just to share, I won't share their names, you know, for privacy purposes. But this is what I feel like God's laying on my heart at this time. We've got a customer that's been a repeat customer. And received a call from the lady, the spouse this morning, and she needs a particular piece of furniture to help with rehabilitation of her husband who just had to have major surgery. And one of the things that she asked, you know, because what she needs at this point in time, we don't have. We could order it for her, but she needs something immediately. And we recognize that, and she recognized that. And I said, well, what can we do? She said, well, I know y'all pray. And she said, would y'all just be praying for us, you know? And for people to trust us enough to, you know, to ask us to pray and just to keep them in mind. That means the world to us, and that's what we want our other customers already and our potential customers, you know, to recognize.
That's the heart of why we do what we do. I want to add to that too. We're not a big industrial city.
Yeah.
We're a small farming community.
Yep.
You know, and so I mean, you guys know, if the farmers don't do well, the pocketbooks get, you know, tight. And I get that, because, you know, they have to budget. Everybody's on a budget right now.
Yep.
And we understand that, you know, and so we're going to do whatever we can to help. You know, you come in and you tell us you need a bed, we're going to work with you any way we can possibly work with you to make sure you're not sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, we might have to work up to what you want, but we'll get you what you need.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know,
So.
And we've dealt with that scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Several times in the last 6 years. You know, people that are sleeping on the floor, people that are sleeping on an air mattress, and the dog punctured it. You know, and now they've got to do something different.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
And
just different little things like that.
Everybody's in a different season in their life. You know, and
that's true.
You know, it's not for us to judge. You know, or you know, what's going on with you. You know, we've been there. We knew what it was like to, you know, to scrimp and scrape and
pay bills and live on $20 for the rest of the month.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Man. So what do you think is the message you want to say to the community? The most important message?
Give us a chance to earn your trust.
Okay.
Give us the chance to earn your trust. We're not a traditional retail store, so we're not open from 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or what. We don't have normal regular retail store hours. We both still work full-time jobs, you know, and we're getting to the point where this is going to be our full-time, you know, job. Or adventure, whatever. I don't really want to call this a job because we like it. You know, we love it. And my granddad always told me, if you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life.
That's true.
I mean, it gets stressful, you know, when everybody's pocketbook is, you know, is kind of clamped down, and you know, and
the recent gas prices.
Yes, it's crazy. But anyway, what I was getting to is, we just want people to understand that we're not here to, you know, make a month's worth of living off of one purchase. That's not what we're about. Right. That at all, you know. And if you'll give us a chance and, you know, just come in, call us, message us on Facebook or whatever, then we can, you know, we can set up a time. You can come in, or you can come in when I'm here. And it's all over Facebook what times we're open and stuff. Yep. We have some hybrid hours anyway, and I can show you, you know.
Yeah, and actually tried one of the they do, folks, ask you to lay on the bed if you want, or if you're curious. And they do sanitize, you know, so no worries there. But it is a definite experience that's piqued my interest in maybe getting one of those down the road, and it felt really good. The one you showed me was zero gravity with some cooling technology on it. Tell us about the zero gravity and cooling technology, especially with these high heat days that we're having.
The one that's sitting right inside the door it's a Sapphire Sleep Cool Phase. It's a thermic cool phase. So it has cooling gel inside the mattress, and then it's got a cooling cover on the top. Most of the time when you say cooling, you're either, the ladies are going, yes, I want to sleep cold, and the man's saying, no, I don't. That's not how it works. The way it works is it takes your body heat and it spreads it out, where you're not hot, but you're not cold. You're just one comfortable ambient temperature. And then the adjustable base is what has the zero gravity. And that was actually invented by NASA for the astronauts, to put their bodies and their backs and their spines back in line from floating around a spaceship.
Oh, wow.
You know, all the time. And so they get in those, whatever you call those little beds that they sleep in, and it puts them in zero gravity. And what it does is it lifts your feet just a little bit higher than it lifts your head. And so what it does is it takes and it decompresses your spine and it realigns everything. And then when you flatten back out, it stretches you back out and you're back where you're supposed to be. Yeah, as far as being aligned.
I experienced that. I felt like I was walking a little bit straighter after I laid down. I was like, what in the world?
It really works.
Could you imagine having that technology in your home, where you could utilize it on a regular basis? I mean,
and I will tell you this too, just so people know, for people that struggle getting out of bed, getting in and out of bed, as long as you have a mattress that is either a memory foam like that one is, or you have one that has individual pocket coils, it's adjustable base compatible, and you can sit these adjustable bases up where all you have to do is sit up and turn your body and put your feet on the floor, and then you can just stand straight up. So for somebody that's struggling to get out of bed in the morning,
that's a huge game changer.
Yeah, or if you have to get up several times during the night,
Yeah.
You can also, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can get 2 twin XL adjustable bases, 2 twin XL mattresses where you can sleep on the mattress that's comfortable to you, but your spouse might not like what you want. And so you can get a totally different twin XL mattress for the other side, as long as they're the same height, 2 twin XL adjustable bases, so that if you don't want to be raised up, your spouse can be raised up and it doesn't bother the other person.
Wow. And there's some great health benefits as well. Sleep apnea, snoring, acid reflux, it assists in all of that.
Yeah, not that you guys really want to know this, but I have bronchial asthma. So especially during the fall and the winter, it's really easy for me to get bronchitis. Yeah. And so when I get bronchitis, I can't lay flat. I have to sit up a little bit. I have to raise myself up so that I can breathe, so I'm not coughing all the time. Well, in order for that to happen, I have to get up out of bed and go in the living room and sleep in a recliner. Well, if you've ever slept in a recliner, unless it's just phenomenal, they're not that comfortable. Anyway, and I don't like it. I don't like having to stay in there. Anyway, and so that's one of the things that Murlyn and I that's one of our goals, is to be able to get the adjustable bases so that, when I'm not feeling well, I can be raised up. And he doesn't have to be, because he doesn't like being raised up.
Makes sense.
So, anyway.
Well, this is, we've learned a lot today. We've gone from NASCAR to marriage to, what the value of a good night's sleep to mattresses. But you guys also have other types of furniture as well. And you have sectionals, and then you have recliners. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, number one, everything that we have is manufactured by name brand. But we, because of the way we operate, we've been able to gradually move into something a little bit different, each phase that we've gone through in the business. And our latest is adding sofas and sectionals and recliners, and even though we're a small location, we try to bring in a variety in materials and styles. And so it's just been something that has just kind of added to what we're able to offer people and save them some money. The percentage on our furniture savings isn't going to be as great as what we can do on the bedding end of it, but furniture is pretty competitive. And so, but by the way we operate and by being able to cut our overhead, we're still able to knock down 2, 3, up to 500 or more off of what other locations do. By the way we operate.
Wow.
Because we don't have anybody sitting down here with the lights on, waiting for somebody to come through the door, all that. We don't have to pay. It's just us. We do it all.
Gotcha.
So, and it's just, I'm excited about, we've got some new things coming in. Matter of fact, they're supposed to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're called occasional tables and stuff. And what it is it's a, because I know there's a lot of people that have been starting to move into smaller spaces. And so they're not going to be able to handle, their space won't handle a huge, sectional. So they need something that's nice, but will fit in their small space. So
or a married couple.
Or a new married couple. Yeah.
A married couple that's
just starting out.
Yeah, starting out. Maybe they're going to the local university or something like that. And so what we're doing is we're putting together a package, kind of a package deal bundle, where it would be like it can be either be a whatever their need is, whether it's a regular sofa or a small sofa chaise, dining room table and chairs, and then
coffee table and 2 end tables.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it's a bundle that all goes together.
If we had everything, in, and we had all the figures, we could kind of put that in front of you now. But it'll be something that we'll probably have in place by the end of the week.
So that sounds like it would be pretty good for the real estate industry and staging real estate. Right?
It could be.
Or Airbnbs that need some good furniture at a lower cost, that quality.
Yeah.
Yep.
You mentioned college students that need something move-in ready. To have a package deal that they can get 1% off on.
Yeah.
That sounds really like a great idea, to be honest. And when do you guys see that coming?
Well, our truck is supposed to land
supposed to be here
tomorrow.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to figure out kind of where we can kind of stage that. And
that's one of the things that I wanted to preface earlier, and it skipped me. The other side of not being a retail store and not operating like a retail store is we get this stuff by the truckloads, and once it's gone, we might not get the same
recliner. You have a true limited inventory.
Yeah, we really do. What's here today may not be here tomorrow.
That makes sense.
So if you want it today, you got to come get it today.
Gotcha.
And we're not above, if you call us and tell us, hey, I need a recliner tonight. My grandmother's coming to live with us and she needs something to sit in. Oh, wow. We'll meet you down here at the store. If it's feasible, if it's possible, but if you come in and tell me, well, I like this mattress, but it might be a little bit out of your budget, I'll come back tomorrow. Well, it might not be here tomorrow,
That makes sense.
And so that's just one of those things that we need to, people to understand that it's here today. Might be gone tomorrow.
Well, and with Janie saying that, it brings something else to mind, in that we don't want to promise something to somebody and then they're sitting around waiting, and it be a couple of months or so down the road. There's another company in a sister town that they were promising some things, but they weren't able to fill what the person ordered, and so we've gained some customers from that because they couldn't get what they needed, and we don't overpromise. We just tell people, well, this is what we have available, and this is what, and if it's something that they want special ordered, we'll do that. But we look to make sure of what is available in the warehouse before we commit to anything, because we just don't want to be that. We don't want to be that type of business, that overpromises.
Yeah.
We want to deal with people, as best we can with integrity. We want to treat people the way we want to be treated. And that's a teaching from the Bible as well.
It's a golden rule.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great talk. You have a lot to offer here in a small town here in West Texas. And any parting words, any last message you'd like to share?
I'm just going to say what's popping in my head. There's a mindset that people here in Plainview, because Plainview is a small community, I mean, it's not tiny, but sometimes it's hard to find what you want. And so it's nothing for Plainview people to think, well, I'll just run to Lubbock and get something. I'm pretty sure I can find it in Lubbock. It has been a struggle to try to get people from Lubbock to realize they could come to Plainview, but we have made numerous sales to Lubbock people. It's just a skip and a jump, to run to Plainview from Lubbock, and we've got people all the time that are coming now and buying our mattresses.
Wow.
And we've got a delivery to Lubbock this weekend for a sectional.
Wow.
And so people recognize that they can save some money and still get quality.
That's great. And a warranty as well.
Yes.
Because it's brand new.
Yes.
It's not used.
Yeah.
There's no used.
There's
stuff
no
here.
used anywhere.
It's all brand new.
Yeah, we're not allowed to sell anything used.
So, and that's one of the main reasons that we want you to try things out before you walk out the door with any kind of a purchase, because once it leaves, it's yours, and we can't take it back because we can't sell anything used.
Wow.
And so, that's why we want you to be happy with what you get. And it doesn't matter if you take 10 minutes, it doesn't matter if you take 2 hours. Until you're satisfied, then we don't want to sell you anything until you like what you're either sitting on or laying on, one of the two.
That makes sense. So if I'm watching this and I want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
Well, a lot of times we publish my phone number. It's easiest to probably get a hold of me, and that's 806-729-9466.
Okay.
We're also located at 1603 West 5th Street in Plainview.
All right.
Or you can find us on Facebook, Box Drop Mattress Plainview.
Yep. And there's a bunch of hours of operations there if people want to see it.
Google us.
Yep.
You can find us we're on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Google, and
don't hesitate to Google us. It's
Box Drop
Plainview. We'll get you there. Check out our reviews and see what other people are saying about us.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, this has been a very productive talk, I think. So, folks, you heard it from Janie and Murlyn. That's how you reach out to them. We'll make sure to have all that in the description for you. And Murlyn, Janie, thank you very much.
Thank you.